true believers. I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with a true blue chip prospect in the Legacy Fighting Alliance. She's a multi-time judo national champion and currently an undefeated strawweight with a record of 4-0, and that is Pauline PITA Macias. Pauline, thank you for the time to talk the latest in your burgeoning MMA career.
Awesome. Thank you. No, thank you. It's awesome. I'm excited.
Now, the first thing I want to talk about is that you did have a fight on February 21st, just a couple of weeks before American life really started to change drastically. First, how grateful do you feel that you actually got that one in, especially since, as I noticed, you hadn't fought before that since May?
Yeah. And just like a whole lot, you know how it goes with fights. Things happen. Sometimes you get a fight and a lot of fights fall through, especially on the women's side. I'm not going to lie. At first, I was really frustrated because I was supposed to fight April 3rd in Denver for LFA. So I was doing a really quick turnaround. I was ready to go. So at first, I was really bummed out. Then once I realized how recent I had fought, I was like, man, I just fought. I really need to be grateful. I am seriously so grateful now. You have no idea, because I'm like, could you imagine if I was 2 weeks later? Yep. I would not have a fight since last May. I'd be looking at over a year, and no, I don't have time for that. I don't think anybody has time for anything right now. But
yeah, and I've talked to a lot of fighters, that we're gonna have fights in March, we're gonna have fights in April and stuff like that. So before I get to just asking about like the upcoming one, you kind of alluded to a little bit. So was it the reason you hadn't fought since May up until February? It was more booking. It wasn't injury. It wasn't like being out on purpose. It was like just couldn't get a fight set up in time.
There were just a lot of things that went on, and you know how life goes. Yeah, just like a few personal things, few injuries that are all healed up now and everything. But yeah, it was just one of those things. And then really, we were looking to fight again, like towards the end of last year. Or maybe it was like fall of last year, but then that's when LFA kind of switched over to UFC Fight Pass. But for a while, they had actually postponed some fights. So there's just, it's just like stuff that happens, and you just keep going, you move on. But yeah, that's it. I mean, my plan absolutely now is just to keep, I want to be so active. That's why, I fought February 21st. I was ready to fight April 3rd. I'm trying to, from one country to the next country to the next country. And then in judo too, you fight so much. So I really believe that's how I will thrive so much more, is just being way more active. I didn't really understand the fight world at first, because with judo, I mean, the Olympics are prepared 4 years out, as well as all the qualifiers and everything. So, it's just, you kind of always know how it's going. But yeah, with MMA, it's so I feel like nothing's ever set. Obviously, look at this Khabib and Ferguson fight. My goodness, I thought for sure that was happening. So, anything can happen.
And when I mentioned, when I talk to other fighters, the big question I often ask is not getting a fight a thing that hampers them financially. I'm sure, have no doubt, it hurts you financially, but is part of, even on the level of being somewhat frustrated you didn't get the April fight and, realize, hey, look, I'm better off than most people. Is it partly because on just getting those cage minutes, so to speak, because you had that long hiatus? Is that maybe more frustrating than the finances? Damn, another missed opportunity to get those valuable minutes inside a cage in a fight.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely, those are valuable minutes that you can never take back. And the one thing I know, and from my judo experience and every other sport I did, is experience is priceless. And yeah, but I think for a little bit, at first when this quarantine started happening, I was like, I can't say that my attitude was perfect. I was really frustrated, like any fighter would be. But I kind of checked myself for a quick second, and I've actually turned into being extremely positive about everything and grateful and just blessed. There's so much I'm doing now that I don't get to do on a normal basis because I'm so busy. And when you're at the gym all day and you're exhausted, so yeah, I've actually turned this time into just complete positivity. So for me, mentally, it's been really great.
I know you recently started working with Marc Montoya, who I actually talked in March for part of this series too. What made you to decide, to seek him out as a coach? What has the experience been like, and what makes him different than other coaches you had, even like say judo coaches that you've had in the past?
You know, I can't even say I necessarily seeked him out.
Mm.
It kind of just happened, and it was like a really crazy path that I ended up, because even though I live in Denver currently, I had heard of Factor X, but I really didn't know who Marc Montoya was. I didn't really know anything about the team, and um, it just so happened I had at one point a while back I had stayed at Laura Sanko's house in Malibu, and then who did because he's out there,
Yeah.
and I checked out his gym, and I was like, wow, James Cross is awesome. And I watched him coach, and I was so impressed with the things that he was teaching his athletes, and I was like, this guy really knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? And that happened, and then after I talked to James, I don't really remember how the conversation went and whatnot. But I was actually going to try to go out to Missouri and visit him
Okay.
and train. And all this stuff happened. And then I was at the LFA fights that were in November in Denver. And I did the Twitter takeover for LFA. So I had to be there. I was there talking awesome. And I was watching. I was like, man, these Factory X guys are killing it. It was the night they won a belt and highlight me and all that. And I was walking to the back, and I saw Brandon Royval and Yusuf, and they both said hi to me. So we fought on the same card several times. So, said hi to me, and I literally almost ran into Mark. We just kind of like literally just walking, almost ran into each other. And I said hi, and I was like, oh, hey, I know, I met James Krause and this and that, and we were talking and all that, and he literally just invited me, grabbed my phone, and put his number and name in it. And
Wow.
said, whenever you want, you are welcome to come visit my gym. And I was like, wow, thank you. Like, that was just out of nowhere. It just seemed kind of out of nowhere, but not, it just seemed like almost like too much of like just perfect timing. And so that was it. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go check it out. And actually, before I even went to go train with him, we set up a meeting, another meeting.
See, especially getting into the early part of their career, joining like a major gym like that, like Factory X, which it's one of the bigger gyms in the sport, can be uncomfortable or maybe or different. But you were in the U.S. Olympic Training Center. You were one of the best kind of facilities in the world. So is it like going to Factory X? Yeah, the fighters around you are big names, stuff like that. But is in the end being in such a big facility not a big deal because you've been at one of the best facilities on the planet anyway?
Yeah. I don't know that I even thought about it actually. Like, I don't think that's something that crossed my mind. I very much am one person that chooses to thrive in whatever predicament or position I'm put in, and but I mean, these guys make it so easy to thrive. Like, my goodness, the gym is. I'm so impressed with Marty. He told me when I first had a meeting with him that he said, you're not going to find a coach that works harder than me.
Mm.
I was like, all right, awesome. Like, I've been around all the greatest coaches in the world before, I think, and all that. And he has 1,000% stuck to his word. I don't even know how he does it. I am so impressed. Like, it's crazy. Like, we've been during this quarantine and everything, and no matter what, he calls every single one of his athletes. Like, we've talked, like, we keep in contact, we're having conversations, and so it's not like we're just like, boom, away from the gym and we're done.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I mean, he has what's the word I'm looking for? Can't even think of how to put this into words, but like the culture he has created, he actually demands and will keep it. He's not going to let people come in and change his culture. Mark can tell you, like, he'll have notes on every single one of his athletes. You know what I mean? He knows exactly what they're doing. Notes for like every sparring day. Wow. It's impressive. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he manages to do it all, which is awesome.
You've been
I'm so grateful.
You've been competing in this sport now, including amateurs, from what I can see, like nearly 4 years. How has the learning curve been for you? And are you feeling that same passion for this particular sport as you did for judo, which you did since you were a kid, or has it even surpassed it on a certain level because it's a challenge?
Yeah, I never thought in a million years I would say this, or even I never even thought that I would like love something more than judo, but I absolutely love MMA so much more. It's 4 years into judo, I was, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was 11 years old by the time I was 4 years into judo, and you know what I mean. I did it my whole life. The sport, I don't know. I can't explain it, but I do know that I love MMA more than anything I've ever done.
Wow.
So.
Is there a specific reason? Like, is it just purely because you've had so much success in something like judo to be challenged, to have to start from the bottom up? Like, is it learning new arts like, not jujitsu, but striking? What is it that makes the love so strong?
Okay, so one thing what I love about judo, right, is that it's when like sparring, we call it randori in judo. And so when we're doing randori, it's it's a chess game. You're always thinking 3 steps ahead of your opponent. Like, I'm gonna pull here, they're gonna move here, do this, and then I'm actually going that way when I throw. You know what I mean? Even though I set up all the stuff over here, I'm going here. And so I think with MMA, it's like with judo, it's just the throws, arm bars, strokes, pins, right? Now with judo, it's like, hold up, I gotta add punches. Oh, that person's not moving. All right, let me just hit them until until I can get them where I want them to be. I just think it like, I had a 20-year competitive judo career, and 8 of those years were at the Olympic Training Center. And I think, like, not like I necessarily got bored or tired with it, but at some point, like, I don't know, if you played chess for 20 years straight, you'd probably be like, all right, I need something new and exciting. Now, if somebody came up with like a hybrid game that was like chess and checkers and blackjack and just all kinds of games put together, you're like, all right, I have this one component, let me keep going. And I think that's what it was for me. All of a sudden now, I have this new chess game that has so many more players and so many more like options and things, but I still have that love of judo that's in there because I still get to use it. But man, like, I don't know, I can't even explain it. I even get like so excited talking about it because it's just like, oh, I gotta do all this stuff and I'm gonna trick them. It's like, it's just constantly like tricking people out, like juking them out all the time and stuff like that. So I think that's the part I love about it so much. And I think I really like that I don't have to make weight every single weekend sometimes or like so much, because cutting weight is obvious. I've been cutting weight for since I was like 11 years old or something like that. So yeah, so like it's so nice to like fight, and even if I have like a few weeks in between, I'm like, all right, I've done this before. It's super easy. So I do enjoy that. It makes it more enjoyable for me to only have to make weight, every so often. So,
and this is the beauty of an interview and talking. So you ask a question and then you get an answer, and it makes you think of something else. Because one, I didn't know 11-year-olds cut weight. Like, how do you cut weight at that age?
It probably should not. It probably should not.
How does an 11-year-old stay on diet then? Not cut weight, but just stay on diet. You want to like not have candy or pizza or macaroni and cheese. Like, how the hell did you do that?
Well, when I was that age, it wasn't necessarily like I was dieting consistently or anything. It was more like I'd show up to the tournament and be like 0.2 of a pound over. Like they're real serious in judo. You can't. There's no like, oh, let's do a catch weight. It's literally, if you are 0.2 over, you don't fight. So I would go and put the plastics on and go run and sweat off 0.2, which was really hard when you're 11. Because at 11, I was a gymnast, cheerleader, judo, and I was just like ripped and like. Yeah, and so and at that time, all I wanted in life was to be the greatest athlete that ever lived. So it's not that I care. I mean, I do like I wanted all those foods and I had them, but to me, I knew that if I ate healthy, then I would do better in the gym. And so I think it was just the mentality that I had. I guess that's how 11-year-olds do it. I don't know.
I can't even do it now, and I'm 36. I can't even imagine 11. But one of the key stories for you, and continue on this path of judo, is in your progress in the sport will be a constant connection in comparison to a Ronda Rousey, a Kayla Harrison, because you were on the national team, teammates with them, and they are both also world-class judokas, and they that got into this particular sport too and have had great success. And the fact that you are already and were in the LFA by your second fight kind of shows the respect the industry already has for them, and you being connected to them and being on that same level with them has clearly raised your stock in a lot of ways. Do you feel that kind of stuff adds a higher level of expectation and pressure for someone early in their career? It's still very early. And does that bother you? Or do you dig that? And do you dig those comparisons to such respected as super talented fighters.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with it. I knew that. I grew up with Ronda. I've been friends with her since. I mean, I think I met her when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, somewhere around there. So I guess I just knew it was gonna come with the sport. So it's not. It's like, again, it's also something I don't really think about. A lot of things that people could be concerned about, and they put a lot of pressure on themselves, and like almost like that. I didn't do that. But I mean, Rhonda's my friend. We did judo together. She was like, the first woman to ever place or to get a medal at the Olympics and for America. So like, I don't know. I just can't think of something I really thought about that much. I don't. Yes, there's a lot of pressure. Yes, everybody. Let me tell you, if I don't go out there and I don't win in 10 seconds, the crowd boos me. Like, and it happens, and I don't care because I know what experience is going to do for me. So when I get a 3-round fight in, like, I mean, I'm undefeated, so I haven't lost. So when I get a 3-round fight in, for me, I'm like, all right, I have a list. This is what I need to work on. This is what I need to do. But how much did I learn and grow from this fight? How many minutes did I get to be in the cage, hearing Marc Montoya, coaching me and all that? And that's just experience. And that's all I really know I need. And I know that no matter what, if I keep working hard, like, good things will happen. And I know that the pressure doesn't bother me. I don't know. I honestly sometimes feel like I thrive so much more in pressure. So like my first pro fight, my very first pro fight, Dana White came to it to do the looking for a fight. And that was my first pro fight. I had 3 amateur fights, but that was it. It's my first pro fight, and of course, everybody like, oh, if we're looking for a fight, White's gonna be there, this and that, and I think people almost like, it felt like people were like, I think people were more pressured than I actually was. Like, they were just like, the pressure was so high on them, and then I won in like a minute 40 seconds or something, or a minute and a half. Like, I went in there, just striking, threw the girl down, got an armbar, and it was just like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like when things are like, I'm like, okay, Dana White's here. There's cameras on me. All right, let's go. And I'm just like, that. I love that. I really do love that.
Now, I was probably going to save this the next time we talk, but since you brought it up in the amateurs and stuff like that, and I'm talking about Kayla and Ronda and stuff like that, because this is something I'm pretty sure you have over them. When I'm looking at your record and stuff like that, going to Tapology, in your last amateur fight, it said you won, I believe, via TKO, and it says opponent vomited. Could you clear that up for me? Is that what happened? Did you vomit someone into submission? What happened?
I did. So I know I've had weird finishes. I made a girl vomit, and I broke a jaw with a hook. So like, I don't know. I've had some crazy finishes, but so basically, like, in short, what happened was, even before the fight, you have the athlete meeting and all that, and they talk to you and whatnot, and they're like, okay, you're half the time listening, but you're really focused on your fight, and then all of a sudden, they kept going over and over again about, like, if you vomit, like, any bodily fluid, like, other than blood, if you throw up, if you do this, like, you will be, I don't know if they said disqualified or whatever, the fight will be over. I'm like, who's gonna vomit during the fight? Of course, that's what I'm thinking, right? And sure enough, it kind of started in the first round, I believe. It's been a while to remember. But I remember I got a knee or something like that to her stomach. And I heard like, ooh. And I was like, oh. And I remember even like pushing away and like getting ready. And I was like, I can't, oh my gosh, I can't even explain. All of a sudden I just see her like, swallow it. She straight up swallowed the vomit. I was so impressed. I was like, all right, let's go, girl, bring it on. You want to keep going? I'm sorry, I'm about to kill you. And that's what I was thinking, like, oh, here we go. Now I'm really gonna come after you. But anyway, the next round came in, and I did a head kick, and it just spewed everywhere, and then they called.
Was there like a unified from the crowd and you of like, oh, gross?
I don't remember. I think my eyes were just, my jaw was like at the mouth, like, what? It was for like an amateur title too, so I was like, well, at least I got that belt. I was actually kind of pissed off, honestly. I was like, oh, that's like, we keep fighting. Like, why are we stopping the fight because she threw up? Like, she's fine. Like, when I throw up at like practice, I don't just stop. Like, keep going. So, I mean, I probably was a little pissed off, but that's only because I'm so hard on myself, and I just expect so many big things from myself. And but yeah, I think that's what happened.
Well, speaking of, I'm glad you mentioned expectations. You mentioned it earlier too, with the having Dana White there for your professional debut. What would you say is like your 2-year plan, 4-year plan? Where do you want to see yourself in that time? And would you say in your 2-year plan, if you're not in the UFC within 2 years, would you be disappointed?
Oh, absolutely. If I'm not in the UFC in less than that, I'll be
All right.
disappointed. So I think right now is really, really weird with the whole coronavirus thing, and but nobody knows when fights are going to come on again. You know what I mean? And what about the regional scene? We have no idea what's going to happen. So I guess that plays a big factor. Prior to this, like I was planning on being active. Like I fought, and I was going to fight April 3rd, and I was going to fight again, or possibly, maybe try to get contender series or something. Like I wanted things to go fast. Like I was, and life happens. That's okay. So right now, I think I just don't know, like a timetable at least. But I know, I know I'm ready. I think a lot of people question whether I am because maybe I didn't finish every fight in the first 30 seconds like Ronda. Ronda's she's different. That's the thing. People always try to compare us, but we're totally different people. Her judo style was very different than my judo style, and so it makes no sense that we would even fight alike. She's a lefty, I'm a righty. So many things are different. So I think a lot of people, they're looking for something different, but they don't see that the sport has grown. At women's MMA, it's just incredible. Now we have so many people from the Olympic Training Center that are there now. We have so many people from high caliber, really high caliber athletes now, and it's awesome. I love it. And there's so many more people. I think a lot of people, they expect something different from me, but I know that my experience is gonna just put me over the top. I already know. I have my judo experience, and now I'm getting my MMA experience, and I've been at the highest level in sports. You know what I mean? I was trying to go for an Olympic team and all this and all that, and so I genuinely know that I'm ready. The UFC had a last minute call and they needed me. Absolutely, I know 1,000% I would be ready, and I know Coach Marc Montoya would make sure I was ready. That's where another part that really helps me is I know that no matter what, if they were like, you know what, the coronavirus happened, you can't have any more fights because there's no time, this and that, you know what I mean? And there's this opportunity. Boom, here's a last minute fight. You know what I mean? Can you make weight? Are you ready? And absolutely. During this quarantine, I have been so strict, staying pretty much on my diet and whatnot, and because I'm gonna be ready. They're putting all the workouts online and everything, and I'm doing them. I'm being mentally strong, physically strong, everything I can possibly do right now with our circumstances. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I'm ready. I think people, because they haven't seen something that they're looking for from me, they don't necessarily think I'm ready, but I know I am. And I know Marc would, no matter what, Marc would make sure I was ready. I know that. So it's a good place to be mentally and physically, really. So.
Since you do have so much respect from him, and he's respected throughout the sport, you feel ready. Let's say hypothetical that opportunity came and he said, not yet. Just one more. Would you be completely fine with it? Or would you be like, come on, man, I'm ready?
I would absolutely trust him. I do. I really do genuinely trust him. So whatever he says, I know he has a reason, and I would go with it. So, but I mean, of course, me as a person would be like,
yeah.
But,
all right, one last question. I love a good fighter nickname and the stories behind them. Now, at first glance, PITA may not jump out at someone until it's understood PITA stands for pain in the ass, which I found out in a promotional video that LFA put together for you. Please explain the origin of your pain in the ass nickname.
No problem. And it's so funny because I have to tell you this story. So Coach Marc makes us actually do put together he'll give us a subject and we have to basically do a presentation on it to the whole the team and stuff.
Slideshow and
to help us with
everything.
Interviews and whatnot for later on. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but a lot of times just a presentation, just just you talking, and then they film it and everything. So yeah, and so I was talking, it's time for me to do my presentation. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to tie this in with my history so that my new team can get to know me and all that. And I was saying something, and I was like, oh, and this, and I was like, and then I was like, by the way, and I was joking, right? I was like, my real name is Pauline, like, my real name is not PITA. This, and then, like, they were like floored, like, what? I feel like I don't know you. Your real name's not PITA? I was like, no, why would my parents name me after a chip or something? Like, come on, like, And then I had to explain to them. Then I proceeded with this story, and I was like, well, when my mom was pregnant with me, I guess I had like a bunch of issues, and that doctors actually told my parents that I would be deformed and that I would not live a fulfilled life. And he actually suggested to my parents for them to abort me. Yeah, I know. What the heck?
They would have aborted
like give me a chance,
like
man.
a future champion here. They would have did that. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that happened, and then luckily my godfather and uncle, he's a doctor. He's actually a pediatrician as well, but he was like, "There's no way." He's like, "It's too early in the pregnancy." He told my mom's a nurse, my dad's a firefighter, so they know medicine somewhat, But it was like, it's still their firstborn, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's just stressful. So my dad the whole time was like, oh, she's a pain in the ass. She's not even born yet. She's a PITA. Like, oh, she's a pain in the ass. She's not even born yet. She's a PITA. So then I actually go to get born, be born, or whatever. I'm about to be delivered. And my mom's telling the doctor, like, I think she's gonna come out, and the doctor's like putting his gloves on. Like, no, it feels like that, this and that, whatever. Boom, here I come. I guess I just split out, and the nurse kind of grabbed me, so the doctor didn't think it was me. He was like putting his gloves on. Probably the same doctor that said I should be aborted. No, I don't know. And then my dad, one of the first things he said was, see? And yeah, she's a PITA. And it just kind of stuck. My whole family, like the people that are really close to me, like my immediate family, my partner Lynn and stuff, it's like, they call me Pauline. Well, actually, that's not true. Lynn calls me Pauline, but she calls me PITA. But yeah, no, everybody calls me PITA, and that I was actually talking to Ronda Rousey when I was trying to come up with the nickname. She's like, "How can you not do PITA? You've been PITA your whole life. You have to do PITA." I'm like, all right. So that was it.